Very interestingly, last week I got to meet another Jude, and it's very weird that he and I shared the same fears, same, I would say, trepidation when it comes to meeting people who bear the similar name that we do. Now, I have other names, all right? I've met other people who bear the other names that I bear, but the name Jude, I don't know, it keeps me on edge when I get to meet somebody else who's Jude, and I go, is this person like me? Does he have my flaws? Does he have my weaknesses? Does he have my strength? Is he better than I am? Is he living a much better life? Is he having nightmares like I do sometimes? And so I tend to, as it were, judge that person with my own lenses. And yes, you could say it's a bit, presumptuous, but it is a fear, one that I constantly have to challenge every single day. I don't know if you have that same fear. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on, as this morning we take a look at how you are feeling concerning your business here in Port Harcourt, here in River State. Now, a report by the Economic Confidential, a subsidiary of PR Nigeria, has declared 7 states, including Lagos, Ogun, Rivers, Kaduna, Oyo, Edo, Kwara, as well as Rivers, all right, as the most viable states in Nigeria for 2022. The most viable states in terms of business in Nigeria. Now, this doesn't mean that businesses don't thrive anywhere else. I've been to Oka, for example, and I was impressed to find the robust nature of small businesses all around Oka. It would even surprise you. I don't know, for those of you who don't travel, you may not know this, but just along this east-west road, right, when you get close to, after you pass Mbiama, the closer you get to Yenegua, right, on the left, before you divert to the left into the Yenegua road that takes you into the major town, there are shops that sell generators. There are shops that sell DVD players. There are shops that sell, refrigerators and freezers. And you have to ask yourself, why did that person or those person choose that location to sell their wares? It's probably the most amazing thing I've got to notice. And then it gets even more interesting when you get down to Ugeli, right? When you pass Ugeli, in fact, after you pass Ugeli and you're on your way to Udu, those of you who know that, you know what I'm talking about. You get to see some of these small shops. In fact, sometimes you're traveling along the road, you see a small shop and the person is selling clothes. It looks like he's in the middle of nowhere. But he's put up shop there. He's set up his camp there. He's doing, for all intents and purposes, his or her legitimate business there. But when we look at the bigger scale of our conversation, you have to ask yourself this question. What exactly is making Port Harcourt that good? Yes, we know from the report that Lagos has the highest IGR. In fact, the report says that the IGR, right, of Lagos, right, is higher than the other states combined. That's staggering. That is staggering. Lagos is huge. Nobody. All right, nobody. So sorry, the internal generated revenue of 1.5 trillion from the 7 most viable states, right? That's so Lagos, Rivers, Ogun, right? I mentioned Abuja, all right. Those states combined was more, in fact, almost twice the IGR of the other 29 states together, that merely generated about 650 billion naira. So, what exactly is so peculiar about River State? Because this is the same state where, as I'm about to open the phone lines now, you're going to hear people say, Obiakpo, Faga boys, this tax force is making this, but yet, somehow, the IGR, and then for you to have internal generated revenue, it means that there are businesses that are domiciled, there are businesses that are looking forward to, there are businesses that have moved to that location. Yes, you can argue very easily that, okay, maybe Port Harcourt and Lagos have ports, although the port in Lagos, talking about the Tinkan Island, is probably the most used and is the center, the nerve center of all economic activities in this country. Granted. But what about Port Harcourt? Yes, oil base, treasure base of the nation, yeah, but there are other businesses here. So I want to find out from you, businessmen and businesswomen in Port Harcourt, How is your business doing in Port Harcourt currently? What made you come to Port Harcourt? Why are you still in Port Harcourt? If the reports are that things are bad, like some of you say, and some will also argue you are demarketing River State. And I was in a meeting, I was in a forum a few weeks ago, about 2 months ago, and people are saying, look, security is not as bad as people are saying. Abuja is having a wave right now of one chancers. The point here is this. The numbers tell a story. And the story is that businesses like Port Harcourt, businesses like River State. Now, let's ask you, the Rivers people, do you like River State? Because you're apparently here, and you're here for a reason.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, please do well, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. And very importantly, please do not make inciting statements. The numbers to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you will find us when you are looking up on, guess it? Yes, Facebook and on X. Twitter, by the way. X and Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. So I'm talking about you and your business or businesses in Port Harcourt. How are they doing? How are you faring right now in Port Harcourt? The report says, look, it's probably good because the government is generating a lot of money, internally generated revenue, and you know how that comes. Obviously, taxes, levies, and all the whatnot. Your signages that you pay for, your tickets that you buy, all those things contribute very largely, right, to the IGR of a place. If the business area is not that, imagine some of you right now. Do you think your business would thrive if you were in Abakaliki, for example? Ibiso is on another road. Ibiso, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Compliment of the season.
Compliments of the season to you.
Yes, Lagos State, to me, I always say to your station. I was in Lagos, I think August, and they are saying Lagos State make, station in Nigeria in Lagos was becoming a news that Lagos State make 400 billion in the month of, I think, June or July, the internal generated revenue. 400 billion naira. That one some states can use that for their budget for the year. Because everything that they're doing there, before that fund, to me, before that fund will come to the state government, some will go by the side. And in Lagos State, let me tell you one thing. Those that are paying refuse, every street, they are paying. Every compound, they are paying money to those that are picking the refuse every month.
Okay.
But here in River State, once you introduce that one, don't kill us.
Okay, so now, Ibiso, I'm sorry. Let me ask you. You laid a very good foundation, but let me ask you: how is your business thriving in Port Harcourt? Are you happy with the way your business is in Port Harcourt?
My business is driving. I will not say 100%, but it's driving well. In Lagos State now, when you go to the transport sector, the transport sector, they are making a huge amount of money. Now, this refugee I'm talking of, ask any of your friends in Lagos. Every year, every tenant are paying every month for the data that they are picking. Now, let me go back to this airport issue that we are complaining every day. Now, in Lagos, do you know that, Jude, if you are not going to the airport, you are just passing through the toll gate. If you are coming from Oshodi, you are passing through that toll gate, you are going to Bissam, you pay. If you are going to the airport, you pay that. The VIPs, they are paying 600,000 in a year because their own site. You just use their card like ATM card and put at the gate. You go inside. But here in River State now if you go to the airport, why people are complaining? The same inside the same airport, they are collecting double money to make money. Now, Lagos State, every market, they are paying levy.
I'm sure that
the idea will not grow. In fact, they should tell us the 5 states that are collecting. They should tell us how much every state are making every month.
Okay, I'll read some of that data for you. Miriam is in Okrika. Miriam, good morning to you. How is business in Okrika?
Hi, Judy. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Well, business is good. Before I get there, honestly, what I just heard is troubling. I think the federal government is being unfair to other states, honestly, with what they are doing to Lagos. Their presence in Lagos is too much. It's so much. And was last week that Kalada just told us that 50 foreign companies that are intending to come to invest in tech in the country, and federal government took them to Lagos and some few other states without coming to River State. It pierced my heart last week when I heard it. I couldn't contribute. I was so saddened by it. It looks like a cup that is overflowing, and they are adding more water into it. I think federal government should spread their presence all over the other states. Their presence in Lagos is too much. All their ports are open. And let me just go to the other question, Canada. Business in River State is good. In all the local governments, wherever you go to do business, you make profit. In fact, people will buy from you. And that's why I fault it if some persons in River State and they say they are suffering and they are begging and look, whatever you do, even if it's pure water you're selling, you will profit, you will make profit excessively, you will not become believable. So business is good and good. Very excellently, it's going well. And there's something to notice as well. The double taxation issue is really coming down.
Okay.
Honestly,
okay.
It's reducing. That thing that used to scare people, they say double taxation issue, honestly, Jude. I don't know who is conveying, but it is really drastically coming down.
Okay.
Honestly, but there's something I want to point out. And someone told me that the internal revenue or all their couple, they came to sanitation levy, and after sanitation levy, people now bought buckets. All of a sudden, they came again for waste management levy again. I think that is wrong. So I think they are taxing us for this. That's the double taxation issue we're talking about. But aside from this, I think they should deal with this. Honestly, I take it when River State did something, River State didn't put in a bad light. But I think they should deal with this. But other than this, business is good.
Okay.
It's booming.
All right. Business is good in Port Harcourt. Muriel says business is good. Ibiso says business is good. What about you? Are you pleased with the way business is in Port Harcourt, in River State, any part of River State that you are in? What are the challenges that you are facing? Despite these challenges, are you still able to make a profit? Yes, we know that in the past 6 months, in fact, since the fuel subsidy was removed, we've seen a spike in cost of goods and services, particularly food items. Inflation moving into double figures, 25% and such. I think ours is one of the fourth or fifth highest in the world. It's weird, right? It is. But anyway, the point is, people are finding a way, and despite all of these challenges, River State is one of the top. We'll be back after the break.
As the Christmas bell
boy. But I think we can make it through. We can make it through till the later part of the day when we have something to eat. What will I have? I had Eba and Afang yesterday. Well, we'll think about that later. But for now, let's talk about business and how they are coping here in Port Harcourt, here in Rivers State. Now, this is coming off the back of some interesting data that last year, did you know that Port Harcourt, that's Rivers State, Lagos, Kaduna, among the top 6 states, for viable businesses. These were the places where, if you had a business, the chances of those businesses succeeding is pretty high. Riverside was one of them. Now, there are a few factors that one could say contribute to this. One, population. It's a very healthy population here as well as in Lagos. Kaduna too also has a very healthy population. You can't deny that. Those of you who have traveled, you've probably been to Kaduna, you probably know that yes, there's a good population. Or you're not too far from Lagos. In fact, if you go by road these days, Lagos, Ogun, right? You can't even tell the difference. You really can't. Even Oyo these days, you can't even tell where the border, because the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, for example, you have a lot of factories, a lot of warehouses along that stretch of road. So hey, it's kind of like the commercial hub for that area. So you are not surprised, or you would not be surprised, or you shouldn't be surprised that they are generating a lot of revenue. The other states, well, Kwara and Edo states, interestingly, where I'm from. But it's not all nice for the other states, because you have to ask yourself this question. These other states, this 7 states, if you look at the other 29 states, you have to ask yourself, so what exactly is going on in these areas? Why are they not doing very well? Now, I'm particularly concerned because looking at the breakdown, let me read this bit for you, right? Now, 6 states that may not survive without federal accounts due to the extremely poor internal revenue generation of less than 10% compared to their federal allocations are number 1, Bayelsa, Katsina, and Akwa Ibom. I cannot believe that Bayelsa. In fact, I'm going to talk about this very shortly. So let's get to the telephone lines now. John is in Iwofe. I wonder what kind of business John is in. John, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning, Joe.
Good morning. How is business for you in River State?
Unfortunately, I'm not doing business.
Oh, okay.
But however I do, it was in this your station, you told us some time ago that the levy paid in the oil market, everyone is by a single trader is more than 6,000 or so.
Yes, we had that conversation. We had a reporter go there to investigate, and we brought those tickets live on show.
Yeah. So you can imagine how much a trader spent on a single day. Talking about federal government carrying investors to somewhere. See, that is why we talk about security in the state. In Rivers, we need to have oil companies. How many of them are still operating? The operator was going to work through this agit. The community carried a casket for 3 days and placed in front of that agit for 3 days. Agit company. I'm hearing with rumors that those people are not there, that they have told it or something, I don't know. But go to Ogun State. Ibikule and Mosun carries almost all these things you see. Check the address, all Ogun. He gave them a free year land, a lot of benefits that make all the companies to go there. But the River State, what do you see? When you come there, you pay NEPA bill for community. You travel for community. Community, you give them slots. You do this. That is why you see that no company, apart from this dump, you see. How many companies are in River State?
But there are other businesses in River State.
Bring them.
There are other businesses in River State, and there are other businesses in River State, John, and the stats say that those businesses are helping generate revenue for the government.
So the tax, Well, how he said, in fact, go to that collect tax in River State. How does everybody be going to the state government? What other places that see how they collect tax? You know that what you are paying for is genuinely for the government. But for River State, you don't think somebody will come and say, this one is CBC,
we have
development something. They will come collect. This one is for chief. How many of those taxes get to the government?
Well, that's a good question John is asking. How many of those levies actually get up to the government? But maybe they do get to government, maybe at the local level. But welcome, if you just join us, to Hello Port Harcourt. Well, we have Samuel, who is in Choba. Let's get to say hello to Samuel. Samuel, good morning to you and compliments of the season.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Compliments of the season, brother.
Wish you the same.
My contribution here is that Bayelsa shouldn't be in that list.
Why?
Because if you look at Bayelsa, is naturally endowed. In fact, from what is being taken from Bayelsa, can take care of the entire country. So Bayelsa should be a part of that list as one of the states that cannot survive
without federal allocation. But Samuel, that's the truth. How many businesses do you know are thriving in Bayelsa?
As far as I know, is that there are a lot of companies in the state, and I believe that these companies pay taxes to the state government, and with the presence of those companies, there are other individual people coming to do business there. So if the state government is up to date to even collect their revenue, they should not be in that list.
Okay, all right. I agree with you, but we can't in all honesty make comments like this out of sentiments, because yes, we know it shouldn't be, but it is. Once again, let me read the stat. This was from last year. Now, Bayelsa was bottom of the list, having received 273 billion naira and generating. Wait for it, just listen to this. Generating only 15.9 billion naira, representing 5.81% of the allocation. Only 5.8%. Now, if you compare that to states like Katsina, in fact, let me read that of Taraba, right? Taraba received 360 billion as allocation, which is not 360, I beg your pardon. 103 billion naira. Please forgive me. 103 billion naira. That's Taraba State, right? Received 103 billion naira as allocation. 103. But it generated 10.2 billion naira. That's 9.9% more. 9.9% of what they received. Meanwhile, Bayelsa could only raise 5.8%. So if you look at the percentages, right, of internally generated revenue, Taraba fared better than Bayelsa. And maybe it's a conversation that we have to dedicate, like a whole hour, one whole day, probably get industry players from Bayelsa, because it should worry. If you're listening to us right now online and you're from Bayelsa State or you have business in Bayelsa, it should genuinely worry you, because when you come into Yenegua, the first question you have to ask is, where exactly are the signs of development? Signs of development don't necessarily mean the nice painted buildings or the number of petrol stations that dot the landscape of Yenegua in particular. Neither is the heavy trucks and the fuel dumps you see. That's not exactly the sign of development. Because when we talk about internal generated revenue, look at the word internally. So that means there must be businesses that either pay tax or contribute to the general, economic viability of that particular place. It is very worrisome. It truly is. WhatsApp now, 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. Ibiso on WhatsApp says, good morning, Jude. For other states to grow, one that is in Niger Delta area, we should fight insecurity so that companies will come back to our region, because the insecurity level in this region makes most of the companies leave. Leave. Okay, like go to Delta State, for example. Most of the companies there have their headquarters in Lagos, right? If we fight against insecurity, most of these companies will come back here. Thank you very much. That's Ibiso. All right, this one here says, all right, this is a cheeky comment. I won't indulge you. Thank you very much. I won't indulge you. Very cheeky comment. At Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, Twitter. At Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info. We are live right now streaming, and I would like to get to your thoughts. We're talking about our businesses in Port Harcourt. How is your business doing right now in Port Harcourt, in River State? How are you faring? Are you selling tomatoes? Are you selling pepper, onions? Do you bring in cattle? Do you bring in goats? It's Christmas season now. What exactly is going on? Are you comfortable with the way the system operates for you? Are you able to move your goods from one point to the other? Look at sales, for example. Or do you enjoy the business environment? What's the relationship between you and the authorities? Can you quickly get to CAC, FIRS, or RIRS, and say, oh, this is my complaints. Can you resolve them? When there are issues, for example, with your business, is there a speedy way of resolution? Now, all of these things may just be the reason why your place is doing much better than Bielsa. I don't know. But hey, for those of them who are listening right now, they're probably wondering, so what is making Port Harcourt so special? Tell us, how is your business faring right now? 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. Please, when you call in, as always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Please turn it down, and do not call us on the WhatsApp channel, please. All right, the WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. Well, business is good in Port Harcourt, Jude, and let no one deceive you. We have a lot of challenges here from the police, from the local boys, and indeed from some of the government officials. But because of the population, and particularly if you are strategic with your business, you will make money in this town. I know people who came here with nothing but the clothes on their backs, but yet now, 5 years later, they are driving vehicles. If you know the right places and you know the right people to meet, you will definitely make money in this Port Harcourt. Let nobody deceive you. All right, thank you very much. Ernest is saying, let nobody deceive you. You can and you will make money in Port Harcourt if you know the right places, if you know the right people to be with. Is that your story? Is that where you are right now? Are you enjoying the business atmosphere here in Port Harcourt? Well, let's get to find out from you. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Numbers to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. I'm waiting for the X handle to come up. It keeps refreshing. Something probably with the connection. All right. David here says, Jude, this picture is not complete. Yes, there's a lot of money here in Port Harcourt because of the oil installations and the oil companies. That's the primary reason that it attracts the other businesses, from the food vendors to those who build houses to those who sell cars. You can't compare a place like Jos, for example, that doesn't have as many businesses as Port Harcourt, that will have the oil business that will attract other allied industries. Yet, I don't think Port Harcourt is doing very well. Look at the numbers of buildings that we have in this city. For a city that claims to be the treasure base of the nation, it is still very poor. The quality of businesses could be better if people decide to get more education and also do what other people are doing, innovate. Port Harcourt people are not doing very well, in my opinion. They're just marking time because in the line of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Strong words, David. Port Harcourt is not doing very well in David's eyes. David says, look, it can be better. There can be more innovation. Maybe I agree. Maybe. He does have a point. All right. If you look across Port Harcourt, right, let's be honest, what exactly is a clear sign of development, right? You should be seeing construction sites all over the place. You should be seeing, it's not just roads now. Excuse me, it's not just roads now, but, you should be seeing malls, you should be seeing gardens, you should be seeing, activities of a variety, not just people who are selling, beverages. Excuse me, I keep sneezing. Is somebody calling my name somewhere? If you're calling my name, attach some, ones and zeros. You know what I mean? If you're calling my name. All right. Thank you very much. Let me do my job. All right. So, if you're going to measure, what is development, right? All the businesses that come would obviously pay taxes. Let me say this, all right? This, please, by the way, if you are from Bayelsa, you're in Bayelsa, please do not take this as a slight on the state. No, because I'm from that state as well. But if you look at the number of restaurants in Port Harcourt, whether they are small restaurants or what you call the fancy a la carte type restaurants, if you look at the number of hotels, the quality of hotels in Port Harcourt, all right, and you also look at, the other businesses like the fashion stores, the boutiques, those who sell shoes. There are a lot more here, and their quality most likely is better. So why wouldn't anybody come to Port Harcourt and make money? Why? The question is, what exactly is not happening in Yenagoa? What exactly is not happening in Yenagoa? You have to ask yourself this question, really. You really, really have to ask yourself this question. Good morning, June. Port Harcourt is doing just okay, in my opinion. It's not just the amounts that you read, but sometimes it's the way the people feel about the place. If Riverside is truly to live to its potential, people should be able to sell things outside Port Harcourt. There should be malls outside Port Harcourt. Everything is just centered inside Port Harcourt, and that's why it looks like the place is developing. But Jude, drive away from Port Harcourt main city, and then you realize that development and businesses are dying in this city. Let's not deceive ourselves. It's only in Port Harcourt that businesses are thriving. Outside Port Harcourt, not a lot of businesses are thriving. Kelvin. Is this true? I wouldn't know. I would not put on my hand and tell you I know. But is what Kelvin's saying true? That outside Port Harcourt main city, that's outside where we are right now, the Obiakpo, the Ozoba, and Falga, all the way to town, and let's add Leme as well. One, that's true. If you remove the Port Harcourt city itself, are businesses really thriving in River State? Are they doing well enough? Or is it just this area, this where we are right now, that's doing so well that everybody just recognizes its benefits? 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. Now on Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, Duru Prince says, remember in the case of Bayelsa, they have flood issues. Nobody would like to set up industry that will be submerged in water after it's season. Okay. Drew, that's a great point. You're talking about ecological, disasters and challenges. Maybe that could be a factor in the Bayelsa story. But we also have, whilst we have flooding here in Port Harcourt, in River State, I don't think is commensurate to Yenegba. I remember, was it last year? Or no, I remember the 2012 period and also last year. It was really bad. It was really last year. I think a lot of people got to hear about it because people could record, sending videos, pictures, and all the whatnot. So yeah, maybe that's it. Diamond promised, say, almost Sakpa hook everybody. I no longer sell as I used to sell before. Now only God go help us. Where in River State are you, Diamond? Let's know. Okonkwo is speaking to us from Rumokuta. Good morning to you.
Yeah, bro. Good morning.
Good morning and compliments of the season to you, please.
Same to you. I was surprised at you making a comment. What exactly that should prevent somebody from coming to River State to invest? Brother, have you not heard of double taxation?
Oh, I didn't say prevent. I didn't say prevent.
If I open a supermarket on any of the roads in Port Harcourt today, and I open that supermarket today, by tomorrow morning, more than 10 groups will come to my supermarket and demand for money. And no one will collect less than 5,000. Then times it by 10, is it not 50,000?
Yeah, well, so I agree.
But next tomorrow, other groups will come. So how do you expect somebody to come here for investment?
Wait, hold on, Okonkwo. I agree these things are happening. People have made complaints. But yet, despite these challenges, the businesses somehow are still thriving because the data says a lot of money was made from IGR in this state. That means people are paying their legitimate taxes. People are doing what the government is saying they are doing. So that means they're surviving one way or the other.
But are you aware that the motive of the objective of certain business is to make profit?
Yes, indeed.
But when get a place that every day you will not make profit and rather you'll be losing your income, until at the end you will close that business. Then what do? How do you encourage others to come?
Well,
thank you.
Thank you very much, Okonkwo. I understand Okonkwo's concern. But that's what somebody made mention on. Someone, I think it was Miranda, said, look, double taxation is on a decline. All right, that's what she's experiencing. Maybe it's not the same in your area, but the point is, it is still the place where people are trying to make not just ends meet, but are doing well enough to survive, to have official remittances. That can't happen if the businesses are all folding up. Stephen is in Rumekini. Stephen, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Yeah, okay, my own contribution is that I'm trying to look at the way you are painting development, restricting it to infrastructure development. When you compare Yenegua as like your head is Yenegua. I don't think there's any state in Nigeria that can boast of development. If you go around the streets and interview the common man, are they feeling the impact of development? There's no state in Nigeria that can tell me that people are feeling the impact. Even though you have supermarkets, you have fashion boom, you have malls, everywhere is built up with infrastructure development, that's not what translates to that development we're talking of. People must feel the impact. Which state in Nigeria can tell me people are feeling the impact of what they call development? Look at the Ring Road University, for example, now. You know how many shops that have been rendered homeless? You know how many shops that have been rendered homeless? People are going back to poverty. And what you now see at the end of the day is that it will be newcomers. Newcomers are the ones that will not start doing investment after the ring road have been achieved. But the common man have lost all their businesses for borrowed money. They are back to poverty. If you complain to you, you'll be so surprised the level of complaint you will receive from the common man in the street, in River State, any state in Nigeria, Lagos State, mention it. Even as a nation, we cannot boast on development.
Well, I understand the sentiment, Stephen. I understand the point you're making, Stephen. But when you look at the amount that they receive individually as allocation and the amount they're able to generate, that's where the question is: what exactly can be done, and why does this seem to be working here in River State? That's the point. I'm not saying it's only because you have what do you call it, fashion houses and restaurants. Really, that's not just the only sign of development. Because, like you said, how do you measure development? Do you feel comfortable walking home at night? Do you feel that you can get to the hospital and have things done for you? Those are the real hallmarks, really. But anyway, We'll go for a break. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, by 10:10, we have a conversation about cars.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting.